Hello and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to build additional income streams for you as an artist without abandoning your practice. Now, you probably see so many videos and podcasts all about income streams, and while there is tons of great information out there, I'm certainly one who benefited from a lot of this info. There's also a lot of conflicting messaging, and a lot of it includes overnight success, quick get-rich schemes, and promises that once you make an income stream, you're never going to have to work again. Since I've been doing this for over 15 years and 10 years self-employed, I can be completely honest with you and tell you that there's really no such thing as passive income unless you are investing money in a stock market, and arguably even then you have to monitor it, research it, and keep track of it, right? But there are income streams that are more supportive of us as artists because, as you know, the most important thing to creatives is time to work on our craft, build our body of work, or practice our skill. And so in this video, I'll be honest and I'll share some things that have been working for me and also the mindset required to build additional income streams. Now, I think that making money, especially on the internet, is incredible. And while it's not a quick get-rich scheme, or it's definitely not overnight success, there is so much opportunity and there are so much market demand for both knowledge, experiences, connection, mentorship, and beyond. And as fine artists, we might be tempted to lump ourselves into the category of, well, artists have a hard time making money or artists are poor, but artists actually have a lot of opportunity to make money online. The most obvious is, of course, selling our originals, prints, and commissions. And less obvious so is to share our knowledge or skill or even our energy online. Some people just really love to have someone to paint with or make sculptures with, and so on. And there is no one shoe fits all. And so I'm going to give you some things that have worked for me, as well as some things that work for my clients and community, and other entrepreneurs and artists that I've met over the years that are supporting themselves solely off of their business. One thing I'm going to say is the most important thing about creating an income stream that is both sustainable and enjoyable is to work through any shame you might have around adding an income stream. So there is this old school notion that if you want to attract a high level gallery, you can't support yourself monetarily, you can't start a business, and you can't sell your work on your own. This is total BS because when you look at actual successful artists, I mean, even take Damien Hirst as an example, love him or hate him, but people like him and Jeff Koons have essentially built businesses around their art at a very high level with employees and essentially their factories, right? And yet they are celebrated in some parts of the art market. Whether or not, like I said, you like them is irrelevant. And so I want to just put this on the table because I know when I first started, and I created my first business back in 2013, and I felt a lot of resistance and shame around it to the point where I didn't even put my name on the website. Now, at the time, the business was not making any money, but even without it, I felt like, oh, I gave up on my artist career because I have this other venture. But over the years, what I learned is that my creative business, my magazine, podcast, and technically the podcast doesn't really make any money, but that's a story for another day. It's more of a marketing platform and connection, right? It's a way for me to build trust and get to know my audience. But one thing that I learned is that it is a gold mine of connections, of friendships, of opportunities. And in some cases, it did bring me together with galleries and curators. And it wasn't why I started my business, but it had that positive side effect. So if you have any shame around building something, if it's slightly not related to your art practice, for example, and you might be like, oh, am I still a legit artist? I want you to just journal on that. And if you want to keep it really, really tight and studio fine art oriented when it comes to your income streams, that's an option too. I had a former friend and client, Haley Torres, who makes the majority of her income through print sales. And there's tons of artists like that, including incredible artist Emily Jeffords and so many others. And there's people like Ashley Longshore that pretty much sells original and some merch and some smaller works directly through her New York City studio. So there's many variations of this. And even if you work with a gallery, there's always a way to just be clear on what they're selling and what you're selling so that everyone wins in the end, right? So here are some income streams that you can add into your creative business that won't jeopardize your art time. The first one is, of course, maybe it is mentorship, coaching, or workshops of some sort. I think that knowledge is something that people might underestimate as a source of income. And for some people, it's knowledge of their technique, for example, painting, sculpting, photographing. And I personally am always looking for new skills. Like I really want to learn how to photograph better, or I really want to learn how to sculpt a mug. And so even if I'm not doing it for a professional reason, I still find so much joy and pleasure, and online learning is a wonderful way to do that. Now, full disclaimer, recording videos, especially process videos, is a laborious process. You might need some help. There might be a learning curve. So give yourself a few weeks and even months to make it happen. It's not something that can be rushed. It's not something that I recommend. I also teach some of my painting techniques as well, and it definitely takes time. Now, there's other things that you can offer, like maybe you're amazing at Instagram, or maybe you're incredible at writing grants. You can offer workshops or mentorships to artists or other people in your field, teaching them something that you have already mastered in your practice. And you don't have to be an expert. You could just be a few steps ahead and have some wins under your belt that you can pass along. And this is a little bit better in terms of content creation because you could do a Zoom call. You don't have to have a whole video recording of yourself doing what you do. So that is definitely another option. Now you can ask yourself what it is that you already know. What are you good at? What are some results that you received in your life or in your creative business that you can pass on to other people? And I think that courses and online education is fun. I personally enjoy it. I met so many amazing people and friends and clients doing this. So give it a try. And it's not for everyone, of course, but you might love it. Especially some of my clients who are educators in their background or in their training find this a really smooth transition, and it gives you that abundance and flexibility. Now, some of the people in my community also have had amazing experiences with licensing. I personally have not had experience with that, but I'm going to share some of my favorite creators who use licensing in their work, and Alana Griffo is one of them, and now she's the owner of Good Type, so you can check her out. Now, you can also offer a blend of community and like mentorship or education. So some artists like Amy Erickson, who's a fantastic painter, has a membership on School. You can also use Patreon, but beware that if you are providing content each month, it is a commitment, and sometimes this can be really hard to keep up with, especially if you have a lot going on in the studio and your personal life. So really be honest with yourself about how much you're willing to do each month. Maybe a better fit for you is to have an A2B program or a weekly Zoom call with people where you don't have to constantly prepare tons of content. For me right now, my income streams are, of course, my original art sales. I have occasional commissions. I'm not super big on commissions because I love my freedom so much. I have my incredible membership and community, private clients, only a select few each year, and our magazine platform and brand partnership. But please be aware that it's literally taken me over 10 years to build all these income streams. And my biggest tip is to add one at a time and see if it works. Test it out, launch it before you create it, do a little demo beta launch with just a few customers. See if you enjoy the process, because if you only have 5 clients in the beginning, it's so much easier to say, look guys, we gave it a try. This wasn't for me. Or you can say there wasn't a lot of interest, and there's nothing wrong with trying and quote unquote failing. It's not failure. It's just clarity on what works. And eventually you will come up with income streams that work for you. And at this point in my life, I have income streams on rotation. Some things are kind of consistently bringing in money each month. Like I'll usually sell at least a painting a month, but then I also have things that are kind of trickling in the background, like pre-recorded courses. And I will usually choose an area of focus each month as to what I'm promoting. So one month, maybe it's commissions. One month, maybe it's a magazine opportunity or an exhibition we're working on. And another month, maybe I'll open up my private client practice. I hope this was helpful, and I'm excited for you to build your creative financial portfolio and start bringing in the abundance that you deserve. If you're looking for more support and resources, I'm so excited to share that my membership, the Create Collective, is opening in the spring, and we're celebrating 6 years. Oh my goodness, it is such a joy to grow together with these incredible humans. And if you're looking for a place where you feel like you belong, where you have accountability and community to grow your art career and chase your big art dreams with, check it out by going to createmagazine.co/collective. And we would absolutely love to welcome you into our membership and community. Let me know what you think. Let me know what questions you have about income streams. And one thing I also want to share before we go today is to be patient. Everything takes time. Building a successful art career takes time, and sometimes setbacks too, right? And building income streams, as much as I would love to tell you like, oh, just create it and you'll start getting customers, it takes commitment it takes to really lock in and see the thing through and to tweak it and to modify it if it's not working for you or for your customers. But at the end of the day, I think there's opportunities for all of us to bring in more abundance, serve our community, and do it with fun and joy. I'm so proud of you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon.